Hi, welcome back. You've done all the hard work of writing your essays, applying to all the universities, and finally you have secured this admission. And now it's time for even the hardest part, the visa. It's one of the most complicated process, and if you're from a country that is outside of EU or outside of US, it's even more difficult for you to get the visa. Because first of all, there's a lot of candidates and there's a limited number of visa slots, and there's a quota on top of that where the countries decide how many students to let in each year. How do you make sure that your visa application is perfect, that it doesn't get rejected? You have all the documents you need. If you're applying for a Portuguese student visa, you need to apply for the D4 student visa, which is a study and training visa. And I'm going to walk you through all the types of documents you need and everything you need to make sure that your application doesn't get rejected. So firstly, when you go to the VFS website and look through the link, I'll put the links in the description so you can find these details by yourself. So let's start with this list that we find on VFS website. So number one, we have this application through consulate. So you need the application form, but bear in mind, if you're from India, or any neighboring countries that are from around India, you have to apply through the Indian embassy if your country doesn't have that embassy. So for example, if you're from Pakistan, if you're from Bangladesh, if you're from Nepal, you have to visit India first. You have to get a visa for India, and then you have to come and then apply. So when you're in India, you have two embassies. So one of them fall in Goa. So this Goa embassy is only for the people who are from Maharashtra, Goa, and Daman and Diu. If you're not from this area, then you have to apply through the New Delhi embassy. So for the New Delhi embassy, check out this link that I put in the description, and also I'm going through all of this one by one so you understand what they are and what you need to apply for them. So over here, you have all the details that you need to fill in. Keep in mind, do not print this out and then fill it with pen. You have to fill it on your desktop by text, and then you have to print it out and take it to the VFS center on the date of your appointment. So passport, which is valid for additional 3 months following the duration of the intended stay. Passport photographs. So in order to understand what type of photographs and what dimensions you need, you go check out on the VFS site where all of these details are given. If you don't get the photo beforehand, you can also go to the VFS center and have the photo taken right on the date. Travel reservation. So for travel reservation, what they mean is you have to show that you have booked flights or you have reserved your hotels. So usually it's not suggested to actually book the flights because first of all, they're expensive and you do not know when you're going to get that visa. So it's best that you go through a website that's called Flying Helpline. That's the one I used. So yeah, you get your reservation by this date. This is not a final booking. This is just a reservation showing your intended date of travel. And obviously I booked it for 10th of September, but as you know, I did not get my visa by 10th of September. And as you can see in that, you don't need to book an exact apartment for an X duration of time in order to get your visa. But keep in mind, this is for India. So one of my friends, she's from China. She actually had to show an enter reservation for up to 6 months. So she had to book out an enter place beforehand, pay the security deposit and everything. But for India, the rules are different. Go on to VFS, go on to the site, check out all the rules. Now this video is being made in July of 2023. Maybe if you're watching this later down the road, go check out the updated rules so you make sure that you have all the documents in place. Let's move on to the next checklist, that is valid travel insurance. Highly suggested that you get the insurance, not just for the purpose of the visa. If you get injured or anything happens to you when you're here, the medical expenses are going to be crazy. Insurance for me cost me around 11,000 rupees in India. So I use HDFC Ergo, and it was a pretty straightforward process. You just have to give where you're going, so the admission letter, your passport details, and make the payment. You get the document within 1 or 2 days. Okay, so next one is a form that the Portuguese Immigration and Border Service needs from you. So you click on this link and it takes you to this document. Translate it to English through Google and then fill out all the details. Okay, after this, moving on to number 7, the police clearance certificate. So what you need to do is you need to apply through the PSK website. So you have to apply for your PCC and you have to collect it from a regional passport office. Do not get a PCC from your local police station. It's not valid for this visa. And after that, you have to also get it apostilled by MES. So that is another lengthy process. And for apostillation and everything, I highly suggest go through an agent. Trust me, if you try to do this by yourself, it's going to be really hectic. because they know the exact offices you need to go to. They know the exact type of verification you need to do. And next one is proof of accommodation. For my accommodation, I did not fully book or reserve a place before coming. I just showed them a valid hotel booking, and then I stated in my letter that I'll look for a place while I'm there, because it's very difficult to find your housing in Portugal, because a lot of students come here, so it's very difficult to get a place. Whenever they upload a place online or list a place online, there's a good chance that it gets booked completely by 2 or 3 days. Also, make sure to check the country specific requirements. Let's move on to the next one, which is a proof of means of subsistence. This is basically your financial documents, and yes, this is the main reason that applications get cancelled, and you should focus most of your energy onto this one. So what are the documents that you exactly need? So first of all, you need to show your parents' income tax returns for the last 3 years. If both of your parents are working, then both of your parents. If your father is working and your mom is not working, then you have to clearly write it on the statement of purpose that you used to apply for the visa. If your father works in a business, if your parents work in a business, you have to show them your income tax returns and the business registration form that you can find from the municipality if you go ask for them. Besides your income tax statement, you also need to show them your bank statement for the past 1 year, and you also need to show the amount that you need to live here in bank, not in fixed deposits, not in other assets. Oh, you also need to show them a bank certificate, which is like proof of deposit. You can go to the manager and ask for it. Yeah. And besides this, you also need to show them a legal document stating that your parents will support you throughout your entire time of studying in Portugal. This is the financial letter that I used to get my own application done. So for example, when I came here, the money requirement that we needed to show was more than 700 euros a month. So I showed about 750 euros a month. Also, my tuition fees were waived off because I received a 100% means tested scholarship. So you also need to show you're going to pay for this tuition amount as well. So you have to include that in your bank as well. So usually the tuition fees will be somewhere around 13,500 for the entire course. You need to show them in your bank account as well. And if you're taking a loan, make sure to provide the loan document as well. Make sure you have all the finances ready, and make sure you provide all the justification necessary to show that you have sufficient finances. This is the one reason people get rejected the most. This cannot just be a letter. Look, this part is really important. You have to go to a court, get it made into an affidavit, and then have it stamped by a judge of the court to make sure that this is enforceable by law in India. So when you're here, they have to provide you these finances so you don't get left out to dry, and also to make sure that you don't come here and then start working and leave your studies. All right, so now let's move on to the final document that you need is the school university certificate. First of all, you need to show them your acceptance letter you got from the Portuguese university. So for me, this is the letter I got from Nova after a successful application. Besides this, you also have to show them this one letter, which is more important. This is the certificate of enrollment. So this one states that you have paid your enrollment fees and you have preserved the seat in the university. It's not just a basic admission. You need to show them the documents that validate your payment, both for the application fee of 50 euros and also for the enrollment fees of 1,000 euros. So next we have all your educational documents and degrees from your home institution. So because I applied for the master's degree, so I needed to show all my bachelor's degrees and my bachelor transcripts. So if you're applying for a bachelor's degree, you need to show your high school transcripts. So the main point being here is that you need to get your degree apostilled. So this is not just a normal apostille. So you need to get your degree apostilled by the state competent authority, which is the HRA. It's not the SDM. And then I got it apostilled from MEA, which is also a lengthy process. Start this process as soon as you get your bachelor's degree, because it takes a long time to get this process done because the offices are really slow. And also, I highly suggest take help from an agent who does this stuff. Can give you a good idea of the time because they're working in this department, and also you don't want to do it by yourself because it takes a long time and a lot of hassle because these government officials, they're really slow and they don't want to give you an answer. Every time you go by yourself, they'll be like, okay, it's lunchtime, please come later. I think everyone knows this struggle if you're from India. All right, now let's go on to the application step by step. How do you do it? First of all, you go onto the VFS website window and you start a booking now process where you have to log in. The countries that you're applying for is Portugal, and type of visa you need is D4 study visa. if you're not from Mumbai, Goa or Daman, and you can apply through anywhere. So because there's a limited number of application slots and most of the times they're out, so you have to keep checking every day. Don't wait for a slot to open up in your home state. So I think the reservation amount is somewhere around 2,500, and once you go onto the visa center, I think your visa fees are somewhere around 90 euros, or roughly that translates to 8,500 rupees, plus they take a service charge which is another 2,500 rupees. Now when you get your visa submission date, go through the checklist once again to make sure that you have all the updated information on what documents you need. Now let's talk about the main thing, which is your statement of purpose, or why you're coming to Portugal. This document outlines everything that you plan to do once you're here, why you're coming here, what was your decision process like, why did you choose this place, and also what are your future plans after you complete your studies. Not copied from my application. Make sure to write your own essays, because they have a database of all the applications that get sent to these visa centers, and if your application comes out as something that has been copied or that has been taken from somewhere else, or it doesn't match your profile, you're gonna get outright rejected. So after the financial document, this is the second most important document that you're going to check. Now, the one thing that is different from other countries is that you do not separately need to apply for your resident permit. With your visa, on your visa, there's going to be a link. So that link, once you type it out in your browser, is going to take you to a page where it's going to show the exact time and date of your appointment, where you have to be there. And the documents you need to carry that day will be given out by your university. And once you have the resident permit, you can move freely across Europe as you wish. And also the resident permit is for 2 years. And in some cases, some of my friends got it for 3 years. So with this resident permit, you can work. So for my example, I'm currently working at the same time I'm having my thesis semester. Alright guys, I hope this has been helpful to you. Please let me know if you have any other questions in the comments below. It drives up the engagement and helps the channel a lot. And besides this, if you have any friends who are trying to come to Portugal for study, share it with them. It helps them out, it helps me out, and hopefully I've made your process a little bit easier. Please like this video, subscribe if you want to see more stuff coming. And also, if you need personalized help from me regarding this matter, I've put my Instagram and LinkedIn in the bio. Try to contact me through them. I do personal consultation sessions. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you in Portugal.